This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
All right.
That's how I open the show. I'm ready. It's the 26th of November, 2020. 217 Recovery Podcast. My name is Corey Winfield. Marty Liston joining this podcast as well.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Turkey Day. Happy Thanksgiving. And we're on location. You can probably maybe tell. I don't know. We got like a fireplace burning. Like we're staying at the Hotel Olszewski. And it's a nice spot, you know, but it's hot as hell in here. Like,
it is warm.
I'm half naked and nobody wants to see that. So that's why we were like, let's just hurry up and do the podcast now. Get it out of the way. I mean, they keep it roasted in here, man.
Right.
And the fireplace, I don't know how to turn it down. It's just like... Maybe you can pick it up in the background. Maybe you can't, but...
See, I think it's comfy, though. I like it warm like this.
The bedroom, I don't even know. I couldn't even sleep last night. It was 108 degrees. I got out a thermometer and...
First off, it was not 108 degrees. Mm-hmm. And it was a little warm, yeah. But...
Yeah, I got out one of those ones that you hang outside. I brought it inside. And it was 108. So, it was a little tough. You know, the thing about fat people, we don't like being hot. Like, it's just, ugh. It just makes us, ugh.
I don't think anybody likes being hot, but...
Well, fat people, we really hate it. I'm speaking for all fat people. We hate being hot. Show me one fat person that likes being hot, and I'm have some words with them. Like, why are you playing? You don't like being hot, bro. Or cis. Mm-hmm. Speaking of cis, we did make the trip for Thanksgiving. I'm in the big town of Coloma, which has your favorite gas station in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
Called Wesco. You're a big fan.
Big fan of Wesco gas station.
Mm-hmm. And they're open 365, too. Mm-hmm. So, like, right now, we go get some donuts after this podcast.
Yeah.
Never know.
It's the little things that I appreciate now in life, and this gas station is the gas station of all gas stations.
And what makes it so special for
It's got, like, a coffee bar in there, kind of. It's got, like, the cappuccino machines, but it's got multiple different options of coffee. It's got the little individual creamers, you know, the International Delight flavored creamers. It's got the iced coffee machine. It's got Slurpees. It's got Fountain Pop. It's got donuts. It's got snacks and candy.
It's
and
got ice cream.
It's like a little grocery store, kind of.
Yeah. But you've been to other Wescos and you weren't as impressed. So maybe it's just this one that you like. Mm-hmm. So we're taking that back on all Wescos being awesome.
Right.
We're not saying that.
Right.
I'm saying the Wesco in Coloma.
Yeah.
Exit 39 off 94. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go play this for them. I'm like, now we want some free donuts.
Right.
Because a lot of people listen.
Yes.
So just slide them on over. It's not called Plugola. It's podcasting.
Yes.
We don't have FCC, so we can do that. No, but yeah, so it's a small town. You know, it kind of feels good to be home. Also, at the same time, it's like, I don't really look for people. You know, I got my friend Ed and Paul are here, but, you know, it's the holidays, so, you know, they're busy. And, you know, if I run into them, I do, but I don't know. Like, for me, like, coming back home isn't, I guess, as dramatic or drastic as, say, someone was maybe younger. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe someone coming back from college, or, you know, maybe someone you're 25, 26, you moved away, you just started getting on this path of, like, for me, it was just getting on this path of drinking, and I'm so far away, nobody knows, and as long as I answer the phone once a week, I'll be fine, and you know, and so then I come back home, and it's just like, yeah, let's just tear it up. But when I've had to come back home sober, all my friends knew my troubles. So there's no way in hell they would go drinking with me. Mm-hmm. You know, they would be like, no, I'll punch you in your face if I see you drinking, you know. And I'm like, oh, okay, well then, guess you won't see me drinking. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, because that was a question that we had a few times. You know, how do you handle going back home? How's that like? And we've talked about it in many podcasts, so I guess we don't need to.
Well, one thing that occurred to me that I actually haven't even asked you about is...
Oh, how did I get awesome? Well, I think it was when I was 12.
Yeah, no, that wasn't it.
Oh, just kidding.
No, I was thinking about how that... Yes, people in general is the thing. Like, you come back home and the people that you see, you know, might be, you know, individuals that you used to drink with and what have you. But in this case, like, this house was a house that you drank in quite a bit and went through withdrawals in, and probably fights, you know, probably some messy times in your life. And I don't know how that would make me feel, because I actually, and then it occurred to me that in my life right now, every place that's been home for me today, even my parents' homes, they've all moved, like, in between when the last time there's no place that my parents reside that I would go visit them at where I was actively drinking or using at today. And so that's a plus. Like, that's a perk for me. So I can't say that I know that I would handle it as good as you. You know, like, this is the bedroom that I almost died in.
Well, that wasn't the bedroom I almost died in. But,
well,
so, I mean,
the
bedroom that we stay in the guest suite, was actually a room that I had when I was 10 to 13 or 14. And then I switched rooms. But, yeah, so, like, not really anything bad ever happened in that room. A lot of Nintendo got played in that room.
Okay.
A lot of New Kids on the Block records.
Nice.
Big deal back then. And yeah, that's pretty much all that happened in that room. Like, so, like, if I was staying in the actual room where, which is right above me in the copper tone suite, that's what they call that. But if we were in that suite, yeah, it'd probably be a little different. But I didn't spend that much time. There were some fights here for sure and arguments.
You had parties here?
Yeah, back in the day or whatever, but, you know, it wasn't, a lot of it didn't happen here, though. But there was probably good four relapses, though, that I had to go through, and here. So, and then, you know, coming up on the 2-year anniversary of going to jail, of course, I didn't get out of jail for like a week, so, but when I got out, I knew I couldn't go to my apartment. I knew I would drink. And, well, when I got out of jail, that's exactly what I did. I went back to my apartment and drank. And then, I started drinking, and I kind of talked to you about it, because yesterday as we were kind of pulling into town, I was like, man, I don't remember why I drank that last time. You know, it doesn't take much for us to find an excuse to, okay, but then I kind of put it all together this morning. I'm like, I think that's why. And then I'm like, yeah, that was because, you know, some loss of income, and it was just like, okay, well, how am I going to maintain? F it, might as well just drink. I wasn't happy with my life. I wasn't happy with where I was going, and I wasn't doing anything about it, you know, except drinking. That's all I knew. That's all I knew to do, you know, to cover that pain up. The pain's still there, and it hurts worse. So when I started drinking that last time, I don't remember much, but I go to jail, I get out, and I remember my mom was like, well, why don't you just come? I'm like, nope, not coming to your house. I'm good. You know, so it took me from jail to my apartment in Buchanan, and I don't think I drank that night. But very soon after that, I right back into it. And I remember it was like a Friday, and I started drinking on the Friday. And when I came to, woke up, I was in my bed, and I got a message from my mom, text message, and it said, when are you going to pay your rent? I told her, I'm going to pay it on Monday, you know, calm down. And she said, honey, it's Wednesday. And that was an shit moment. And I got up out of bed and kind of looked around on the floor. There's like 7, 8 half gallons gone. I don't remember getting them. I mean, just, it's that, and that we talked about it, or Jason kind of did, Jason Vaughter, in the interview I had with him last week. It's like, it's worse than the walk of shame. Like, sometimes when you wake up and you're like, oh, what did I do? When you check your phone, you're like, oh my God, no, I didn't. Oh, like, that's so bad. And that it was like that times 1,000 million trillion times, which
that's
isn't a
lot.
number. But yeah, it was like, oh my God, what happened? How is it Wednesday? Why is that hole in my wall? Like, apparently I would assume stumbled through the apartment, got to my bedroom, I hit the door, and it like flew open and just put the handle right through the drywall. Go to my kitchen, and I'm not sure what was going on there. There was sugar out. There was packets of hot cocoa mix with confectioner's sugar, and I was trying to bake something maybe. I'm not sure. And I think there might have been some beef jerky involved. I don't know, but it was a wreck. And the only thing I had was red Kool-Aid to drink, which was not good because, it's coming back up.
Yeah.
So, like, when my mom did come over later, or somebody did, she's like, I'm not touching that till you clean up that blood. I'm like, that's not blood, that's Kool-Aid, And some of it could have been blood, but, yeah, coming back on the anniversary of that. And then when I got at that time I drank, back to the story, my mom was like, well, don't drink anymore. And I'm like, okay, I won't. I promised her I wouldn't. But I could not stop shaking and dry heaving, and I couldn't keep anything down. Like, minutes seemed like forever, and it was horrible. And a couple hours later, I was just like, I have to go get some more to stop, like my, and they say that's a sign, and I don't know, I'm not a doctor. Oh, we got to do a disclaimer. Like my muscles started like in my felt like my veins were just contracting, and I started feeling real, just like, so I went and I, to get more. I got a half gallon. I drank half of that just to feel normal. And people who drink, you know what I'm talking about, that like, okay, like I can stop puking. And I had to keep the first couple swigs, like I had to cover my mouth and swallow it.
Yeah,
because it was just puking it right back up because I couldn't even keep that down at first. And it was horrible. Next thing I know, I get a knock at the door. My mom had called the ambulance, and the cops heard that, and they're like, oh, Mr. Winfield, not supposed to be drinking. So the cops come instead of the ambulance. Well, the ambulance, and it didn't come. No, they didn't. But so the cop comes, and he's knocking on my door, and I'm like, you can't come in, Mr. Officer. And I didn't say it like that. I just said, not home, bro. Or maybe I didn't say anything. I think I just told him that I'm fine, go away. And he's like, well, we need to check you. And I'm like, no, you don't. And so I wouldn't let him in, but then my stepdad came, and my mom at one point made me give her a key to my apartment because she said, I don't want you to die and then Nico eat your face off.
Oh my God.
She's like, cats will eat you, and Nico will probably eat you just in spite, So instead I had a key, and he lets the cop in, and the cop comes like, and off to jail you go. That's what he thought. And then he breathalyzed me, and nope, off to the hospital you go, because at a point, whatever it was, high AF, I think is what I blew. He's like, yeah, I can't take you. And so they handcuffed me to the hospital bed. I'm like, that's really not necessary. And he's like, well, we got to wait for you to be cleared to go, and then you're going right to jail. And then the doctor was like, yeah, they should plan on waiting like a day. Like, it's not anytime soon. So so the cop was like, okay. But that was hell. It was miserable. And when I got out of jail, I had to go back to court. And when I got out of jail that time, I just came here to my mom's, or to Hotel Ozuski. And because I knew if I would have went back, even after going to jail again, I would have drank. Because I got out Christmas Eve. So I had Christmas and then New Year's Eve, and I was on alcohol tether, and it was like 2 weeks until my actual trial day or sentencing or whatever it was. And it was just a lot of sitting on the couch. I remember walking to meetings. I had to call and say, hey, I'm going to a meeting, just let you know. And because I was allowed to go to like AA meetings and stuff like that, and they would only have them down the road like every few days. So that's when I could leave, and I had to walk. That was not fun. But
you got yourself there.
Yeah, and there's a song by Chris Cornell. I don't know when he recorded it, but he didn't. Well, I mean, obviously he's passed away, so his family or whoever's in charge of his estate released the album or the song, which has Patience on it, by the way, from Guns N' Roses. He redid that, which I'm digging it. Different version for sure, but a song called When Bad Does Good. And I relate to that song a lot in a lot of different ways, but that's one of the ways I think, something that I take as bad and